The Disneyland Limited, now leaving for a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. All passengers board.
Star Tours announces the boarding of the Endor Express. All passengers, please prepare for immediate boarding.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the door.
Please keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the train and remain seated at all times. Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
I am Sam, the American Eagle, and I am proud to introduce the Grand Circle Tour podcast, a celebration of Disney parks, but mostly the American ones. I really like these guys.
Aloha, passengers. Welcome back to the Grand Circle Tour. I am your host, Jungle Skipper Jay, and tonight we are on the Jungle Cruise of Love. Got my friends and tour guides and their spouses. Got Mindy and Brandon in the boat. How are you guys doing?
Aloha. No, we're doing good.
We're doing great. Glad to be here.
Brandon, it's good to have you in the boat with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. This is going to be great.
It's going to be fun.
Yep.
And George, Jessica, come out from the back of the boat to the front. I see you back there.
No hanky-panky in the back of the boat.
You caught us.
Just because this is a nighttime jungle cruise doesn't mean I can't see you. I got the pistol too, so.
And if anything, you can throw him overboard into the water.
He's already done that. He left me in the jungle how many times? It's
I know. Dude, you should be speaking that native language by now.
Well, he can throw somebody else overboard. I can't swim.
We will tie you to the mast like Ariel. You can be the mermaid on our ship.
That's horrible.
How are you guys?
So people can grab her
good.
Like the Colombian. Usually people go up and go.
Oh, this is going to be a not safe for Disney trip.
Just
Time
keeping
it
it real.
And I'll start screaming, I'm the queen of the world.
You know, I still love that episode of The Simpsons where they went on It's a Small World. Bart dares Lisa to drink the water. She puts her hand in.
Yeah, I remember that.
It goes insane. I am the lizard queen.
So I am the one horrible person on the planet that absolutely abhors The Simpsons.
Hey, it's not for everybody.
I think it's funny.
It's not my cup of tea. It's not where my sense of humor lies.
Brennan's always quoting Family Guy, so you know everything has to do with Family Guy.
Parts of Family Guy are funny.
I never got into Family Guy, but I am really hard into Rick and Morty these days.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
outside things that aren't Disney.
Yeah.
We just went on a little detour, passengers.
Hey,
okay.
We're getting good at those detours lately.
Yes.
Although Simpsons is now a Disney property,
Oh, yeah, we're
Technically,
keeping
yeah. There's a fox.
it in the family.
and Klinger from MASH is now a Disney princess. So maybe what's up with you?
What's up? It has been a long week for this girl, and my passengers probably know I did have surgery. So bear with me through this episode. If I stop, it kind of takes my breath away. It was Wednesday, so I'm still in recovery, but I'm so glad to be here and to be able to say what my waltz up was, because it made me happy. So many of you guys know that I am a churro addict. Like, churros are my life. I have a churro fun jar with a little churro on top. I love trying all different flavors of churros. It's kind of my thing. So Stan was at Walt Disney World, and he messaged me a picture, and he sent to me, or he got me, a churro, like, I don't know what it is. It's like a zipper pouch, and it's shaped as a churro. And then my other friend sent me a box of churro cereal. They really truly make it. It's Kellogg cereal. And
Wow.
it's mini tiny churros. I
Okay,
can't wait to eat it after
Where
I'm feeling
can
better.
one find churro cereal?
I'm not sure. I'm about to go find some more though. It's
I have
so
to
cute.
wrap this up and go down to Walmart real quick and see if it's on the aisles.
For reals. It's like a little 1.5-inch churro sticks with cinnamon sugar and legit churro. So yes, that was my waltz up, churros.
Dude, I'm such a child because I want that. I will start every day eating churro cereal.
Okay, so here's the thing. We love vanilla bean sauce, right? With our Monte Cristos.
It's a requirement.
It's a requirement. Just get what it is. Just just get vanilla pudding and don't let it like put extra milk in it so it's not so thick. And you got your vanilla bean sauce. You can dip your churros in there. Oh no, we made that with our Monte Cristos. My mouth is watering. It's so good.
Sorry, passengers. Show's over.
Yeah, D23, Jason, we will be eating leftovers for breakfast. We always order extra and eat them for breakfast and make vanilla bean sauce and bring
That sounds delicious.
the pudding. It's so good.
I can't wait for D23.
I know.
I'm still waiting to get my box of Moana cereal.
Moana cereal.
She's
It
a Moana.
It is a thing,
Yeah.
and I know that our main grocery store, Giant Eagle, they don't have it now. They did at one point in time, and if I have to order it online, I will. That is a 6-year-old in me. I am obsessed with everything Moana. I have the plushes. I have the bathing suit. I have 2 blankets.
She's still waiting for the queen size comforter to come out in Moana.
And why Disney has not made a queen size comforter set, I'm very angry. When they didn't win the awards that I felt that they should have won at the Academy Awards, I was so angry I actually threw a sock at the TV.
So, George, Walt is up with you this week.
Well, for me, my waltz up is a sad one. It was just notified today that Ron Miller, who was Diane Disney's husband and former president and CEO of the Walt Disney Company, had passed away at age 82, I think it was. But it was just pouring all over the internet, on Facebook, on Twitter, that, just everyone giving their condolences, to the family and everything, because he had a big part, not even just with the company, but being part of the actual Disney family and having a big part in the Walt Disney Family Museum and everything. So, the legacy still goes on, but he was definitely part of it. And, my condolences to the family.
Same
That is
for
a sad one.
Yeah, same for all of us here at the GCT family. We might have to drop in this week and do a 20-minute history of him.
Oh, that would be
a lot
fun.
of people don't know, too much about him. A lot. Us in the Disney community does know, but like other people, they'd say Ron Miller. Well, who's that? And he actually had a big part in the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah, we might have to meet up and do a mini detour.
That would be nice.
A minivan.
Minivan?
Minivan.
I have a waltz up this week.
What is your waltz up, Jay?
I'm pretty excited. I got because we are Vistana members. Got a little thing in the mail for $199. 5 nights in a suite anywhere in the States. And so I've already plucked it down. I've already got my place to stay in Orlando.
What? When?
I have to use it within the next 12 months, but it's done. It's paid for. So looks like I now have to go to Disney World this year.
Oh, how sad. You might have some stowaway.
I have to go or I've lost the money. So
Are you going by yourself?
oh yeah.
Okay.
I know this is our couples episode, but I've already told my spouse, I love you, but why don't you stay here? You'll just slow me down.
Hey, Brandon, I might be going with Jason to Walt Disney World.
I got a sweet girl. Come on over.
Not if
As
I
long
get
as you
there
don't slow
first,
him down.
Mindy.
The what?
I said not if I get there first.
Let's just all leave the husbands at home and meet in Florida.
Girls' night.
Not. You think I'm kidding? I was totally serious.
I was too.
I just invited myself on your trip.
I am totally fine with that.
Woohoo! Now there's a waltz up. Hey guys, you want to know my waltz up? I'm going to Walt Disney World.
You are now. I'm thinking September, so Brandon, can I borrow her for a week?
Sure. You guys can
Oh my
go
gosh.
and do some updates.
It's all for business.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, how can we grow the show if we don't go?
Exactly.
We would get in so much trouble. Anyway, guys, that's fun.
Get in some good trouble.
Heck yeah.
As long as you don't get kicked out for life.
I've only ever been kicked out once.
Really?
It's a story for another day.
Okay. I've had a friend got kicked out of Disneyland for life, and I'm like, okay, I'll never do what you did. I have to share stories sometimes.
Now I have to ask.
It was a long time ago when the chairs, like the ski lift type chairs that went through the Matterhorn.
The sky ride.
The sky ride. Him and his friend, their family just got there like that morning, and they were planning to spend 3 days there. And it was within a couple hours of actually being in the park. Him and his friend decided to spit off of the sky ride down, and they're like 12 or 13 years old. These little punks. Oh God! And when they got off, he was bragging that he went to Disneyland jail for a little while until they could find their parents, and then kicked them out. So they had to miss the rest of their trip, and he was kicked out for life. That was his Disney brag to me. This was an old coworker of mine.
That is horrible.
And I'm like, why would you do something stupid like that?
I would be too afraid of my parents.
Oh, for real?
Oh, yeah.
They would skin me alive.
Oh, he said that they were so angry with him because they ruined, their whole trip was there, to be there at Disneyland, and they ruined it for them all.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, I would be... Oh, it's like, if you want to go and spit on people, that's fine. Don't do it in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Go to Universal.
He regrets it now.
I would never let that go. Anytime we were anywhere, I'd be like, yeah, don't spit on nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever, right?
He regrets it now, though. He feels very bad.
Is he still banned for life?
As far as I know, I haven't talked to him in a couple years because he was a coworker of mine that we got to be pretty good friends. But he's since gone on other things, and so have I. But from that point, he has not been back to Disneyland, and so I don't know if he has since last couple of years. But I would think that that they wouldn't still have that information, or by 30 years later, what are they gonna still have that information about him being banned? I wouldn't think so. Well, maybe so. Who knows? I think he should go try and see if they still do.
Well, if he's banned from Disneyland, he's not necessarily banned from Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
I should get a hold of him and see.
So let's talk about what is your perfect couples day at Disney?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, goodness.
Where do we start with that? What question do we start with that?
Well, nothing says more romantic at getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning for rope drop at one of the parks.
When have we ever gotten up at 5 a.m. for rope drop?
Oh, I did.
No, actually...
You were still in La La Land, but I got up at 5 a.m. and was all ready while you're tossing and turning and mumbling in your sleep.
Well, it's kind of hard to get up when there's a big fat space where your body is supposed to be.
You know what? Rope drop, that is a sign of true love.
Yeah, she didn't get up at 5 a.m. I got up at 5 a.m. Then she would get up slowly but surely after me, and then we would go for rope drop either I think it was
I think it was around 7:30.
Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom. Those are really the only two we do rope drop.
Yeah. It was around 7:30.
You know, that to me is a sign of true love because we've got a vacation. We're in a different time zone. I'm asking you up really, really early to go stand in line all day and play. And you do it if you love me.
So I guess my idea that I'm getting from this is like where I take this is giving our passengers some really good tips to go as a couple.
Yes.
And what we could, from our experiences, give to them and to you guys as passengers to make it a romantic trip. I mean, let's get real. We love going with our kids. I love taking my kids, but every now and again, I love going to Disneyland, or we've gone to Walt Disney World too without our kids, and making the best of it. The last time we went by ourselves was last summer, and I'm going to tell you this, and I may get a little emotional because honestly, we've been married next month for 20 years, and that is by far our favorite trip/vacation that we've ever gone on. We did quite a few things in LA, but at Disneyland, we went out of our way to enjoy each other. And I'm sure we'll talk about some things that will give you guys some tips, and Brandon can talk about it. But my first thing would say is to plan a romantic dinner. You're there. You can't really do that with kids, but geez, take the time out to make it about you guys and be able to splurge on that meal and just have fun. What do you think about that, B?
No, I think it's great. And I know what trip you're talking about. We've been to Disneyland quite a few times without our kids. And each time that we have gone without our kids, we take that opportunity to just relax too, and not like, oh my gosh, we have to get on every single thing. We have to do as much as absolutely possible. No, it's like we take that time to like, well, what do you want to do? And let's just take the time to do it. Let's go to the different stores. Let's go to the different, lands and look around and do the things that we can't do when our kids are there. And, let's spend time just sitting down and eating and, talking and just doing things that we normally can't do. And those are my favorite trips.
Slowing down.
Yeah.
I think that's what I got out of that is just slowing down. You don't have to see everything. And when you go as a couple, it makes it so much more magical. You really do slow down and people watch and not feel like you need a vacation after your vacation. It's a different experience.
And I was just going to say, it's a completely different feel as if you go on just a family vacation or a solo trip. But when you have a couples trip, just you and your spouse, it's a completely different feeling. And kind of feeding what you guys were saying, a restaurant that we love going to as a couple now, mind you, very expensive. Mm-hmm. You have to save up for it. You have to plan ahead. But at Walt Disney World, we love to go to Victoria and Albert's because it's adult exclusive. So we know automatically that's the best time for us to go to that restaurant when we don't have our son with us or other family members. And it's about a 3 to 4 hour process.
You will be there for a long time. It's usually between 7 and 10 courses.
Yeah.
But their food is worth every last horrifically expensive penny that you will spend.
And there's like a story behind each meal that they bring out to you. Like the dessert, the entree, it has a place, the history behind it. And we had mentioned this on another Detour episode, but the wait staff was kind enough that we just wanted a picture with the chef.
We actually asked for a picture originally just with the staff that waited on us. And I don't know if it was a misunderstanding on their part, but they brought us actually into the kitchen where the chef was at.
And he gave us a little tour of the kitchen. And believe it or not, they have a
and he was still a baby. He's not much
he
older
was
than we are.
He was a young guy. But they have like a special for that if you pay extra. They call it the chef's table, where you eat inside the kitchen, watch them prepare your food and everything, and then they give you a little tour and everything. We didn't get to eat in the kitchen, but the tour they ended up giving us was free for something that actually people end up paying. And we didn't look for that at all. They just happened to do it for us.
Yeah.
Now, Jay, have you ever eaten at Victoria and Albert's?
I have not.
Me either, but maybe you guys can attest to this since you've done Disney Cruise Line. I have heard that it's comparable to Palo. Is this true? Because we did Palo, and it's fun. I mean, if we're going to go as a couple and talk about, high-end dinners.
We've actually done Palo and Remy and Victoria and Albert's.
And it's fun to be able to get dressed up as a couple.
Yes.
It is.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what we're going to talk about. The dining experience is phenomenal. And you're going to have that Disney service. What a better way as a couple to have a reason to get dressed up and just look gorgeous, go out on a night on the town, and again, just enjoy each other at a park and take the time at that restaurant.
But to answer your question, Mindy, my opinion, I don't know about you, but it kind of has a little bit of the same feel, but I would still say Victoria and Albert's has a little bit more of a higher notch of, I guess, more expertise. Yeah.
Definitely something we're going to have to check out. We've just gone with our kids, and the last time we went, my daughter was, 18 months old. So it's been a while since we've gone alone. But
and if you really want to do something of a romantic dinner, they have a person playing a harp around the tables and everything. So it's very elegant. It's very romantic, and it's very quiet, but not quiet where
you want to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at
the end of the meal, they present you with your own menu of what you ordered. And then the ladies get a long-stemmed rose. And it's encased in plastic. I've flown twice with them. They don't get crushed. We put them in our carry-on. It's just really special. And actually, George and I have a tradition every year. It started off with, because we're together 6 years this July. And so the tradition is that we actually wear our wedding outfits on our anniversary. And then it kind of sort of moved into, he still wears his traditional outfit, and I will wear a very similar white dress.
And that's usually for Victoria and Albert's.
Either Victoria and Albert's or California Grill, which is
still
top-notch service.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a specific restaurant you guys like to dine at? For like a romantic, like at Disneyland?
Okay, Jay, maybe you can attest to this because we'll get yours, like where to go next. But honestly, we have done so many fun restaurants at Disneyland, and our go-to, if we're alone, our go-to is Cafe Orleans because we have to get Monte Cristos. As funny as that is, I love steak, I love potatoes, I love high-end food, but give me a Monte Cristo with sitting out in the balcony and overlooking Rivers of America and just listening to the crowd and the Disneyland sounds. I'm sorry, but I'd take that over high heels any day. And I love my high heels, but I will take that sound and that view and that feeling any single day.
We also have done the Blue Bayou quite a few times, when we're just the two of us are together. And once we did Club 33, which was really cool. But yeah, I just love the feeling of Blue Bayou. And I like Cafe Orleans too, but to me, that just does it for me, for us just to hang out. And I know that there's like more high-end restaurants there. And we've been to to them before, but I just like the feeling and the atmosphere of Blue Bayou and Cafe Orleans.
What about you, Jason? Where would you suggest a good romantic style getaway, just being quiet to yourself restaurant? Where do you and your spouse go?
Well, there's not so much a restaurant, but there's a spot that I really enjoy as a couple. The Hearthstone Lounge over at the Grand Californian.
I love it.
If you go outside to the fire pits, you
so
can
right.
sit together in the rocking chairs and watch the sunset over DCA, sip a good cocktail, and just have a good couples moment.
I love it. You're so right. Those kinds of things that we forget about as a couple, and we do them, but just to bring it up and being able to do those things and just, again, take in each other's time and love every second of it.
That's the big part when you go as just a couple. It's, yes, we're at Disney, but I'm at Disney with you.
Yeah.
I love it. Ooh, that should be a quote.
We should put that on a T-shirt and sell it in our shop.
Yep.
I think we just got our show tagline.
We write this down furiously. So we've been talking about some higher end places. Where are some spots, where are some restaurants you like to go to that don't break the bank as a couple, where you can still have a nice romantic atmosphere?
Liberty Tree Tavern. It's one of those places, it can get kind of noisy in there.
But it works for us.
It works for us. It's fun and quaint. Their food is horrifically delicious. You're going to pay about $20 to $30 a person. But they bend it over backwards for you, and it's sentimental for us. We have gone to Liberty Tree Tavern,
our first trip together,
every single trip to Disney World that we have ever gone on, and it's become a tradition. Every time we go to Disney World, we always either have to eat lunch or dinner at Liberty Tree.
And it was an accidental tradition. It wasn't planned to say, oh, we're definitely going to Liberty Tree because we want to make this a memory or something. It just happened to fall that way.
We were really hungry, and we were looking for a quick spot, and they squeezed us in, and it was delicious.
Nice. That sounds like somewhere I need to try. I like I know I mentioned Blue Bayou, which is somewhere that I like to go quite a bit, but I like we've gone here as a couple too, but at Disneyland, California Adventures, and you have to forgive me, Mindy's got to remind me what the name of it is, but it's the spaghetti restaurant.
Pizza and pasta.
Pizza and pasta. I like there. I mean, personally, I like there because we get a table off to the side, off to the side of the restaurant. There's like a little section that's kind of off by itself, and it's just a nice little break from everybody and everything, and you can still see out into the little, little water, where the little lake is, and still watch people walking by, and it's just a nice little getaway, and it's really and it's really inexpensive.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback off what Brandon just said, but I'm gonna hop back to Disneyland, and I'm gonna say the Hungry Bear restaurant. So crazy, I know it's a little off key, and most people walk by it on their way to Splash Mountain or going over to, Winnie the Pooh attraction, but up the ramp, you go to Hungry Bear. Now they sell hamburgers and, your basic quick foods, chicken fingers and whatnot. But grab yourself some, fast food, get whatever you want, but make sure you get that delicious funnel cake. Now, here's why. Take it around the corner at the top, walk all the way to the back, and go sit, and you literally get your own table by yourself overlooking the rivers of America, and you're right there. You hear all the fun sounds of the train going by. You're almost all alone and secluded, and it's just a great atmosphere for a little date and just sitting there and enjoying each other's time. So that place is good.
I'm with you there, Mindy, but there's also, well, you're above on the Hungry Bear, I'm below.
You like the bird, the ducks, huh? You like the
I
ducks.
do. I love the ducks, but I know it's by the restrooms underneath the Country Bear. But if you go back a little bit, you've got an area you could just sit and watch the Mark Twain
Correct.
go by.
I'm right there with you, just in that area, up or below. Nobody knows it's there. They all go down there to the restroom. Keep walking. Take your food all the way back. You'll be all alone. And it's such a magical experience eating your funnel cake and after your dinner and your dessert. What a great time.
And it's a great spot because you feel like you're the only two in the park right there.
That's true. It just seems like no matter how busy it is, when we go back there, there's always chairs available or a table available. So I don't know if it's just they don't look, but yeah, it seems like there's always, a place to sit and always, available. So I love it back there. I think it's great.
And I just have to add on to that, and I know we're sticking on to the food subject, but I mean, what can I say? Food equals love. That another thing that we love to do, and kind of going even a little bit more cheaper, is that we love to share a turkey leg. And we usually sit on a bench or on the wall in Frontierland. And again, just watching people go by, listening to the old Western songs of Frontierland, or if the Country Bears come out for the meet and greets, and just watching people, while we're gnawing on a turkey leg.
Watching people trade pins.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I have a spot, and you can't sit there in the sun, but do you guys ever go to the double-decker bus?
Yes.
And go up to the top and just sit there and get a different view of Disney you wouldn't normally get walking around, and just sit there, hold hands, and watch Main Street go up and down.
Yeah, I love the bus. I love riding it.
The omnibus. And you know what? It's so fun. Usually the cast member who's driving will give you a little short history tour of Main Street. And again, this really comes down to the sights and sounds of Disney that you get to experience as a couple. That with kids, you're not stopping and smelling the roses, literally. You are running from attraction to attraction and trying to make them happy and not putting yourself first. And when you put yourself first as a couple, you get to experience the true side of Disney, the sights, the smells, the sounds, and enjoying each other's time.
And then you can come back home to your children, be happy to be together. But I think it makes you better parents. You come back feeling cleansed and rejuvenated, energized, ready to hit life all over again. And I think it's really important for couples to have some sort of time, just the two, away from everybody, away from everything, whether it's, a day trip or just a few hours or a breakfast date. Just take time for yourself.
And Disney's already an escape to begin with for anyone. So I think when you combine that with a romantic trip for two, it just boosts it to the next level.
I think it's good for this is what I always think too. I think it's good for your kids to see their parents do this, to see their parents go on these dates and go on these little trips by themselves. Because it tells the kids that, it shows the kids that, hey, your parents love each other and they, still take time for themselves and, and still take time to do the things that they, like to do as a couple. And in hopes, at least this is my thought, in hopes that, that's the type of relationships my kids will find someday, you got to be with somebody who wants to spend time with just you. And, and we're not afraid to tell our kids, hey, we had such a wonderful time together. We missed having you there with us, but we had such a great time being there together. And And, they're a little jealous at times, but at the same time, I think it's important for them to know that, you know what, your mom and dad love each other and love hanging out with each other.
And I really think it sets a standard for what children should be looking for of how to treat their future mates.
Yep.
I don't think it's just necessarily your kids sing it. I just think it's good for people in general. People need to see people happy, whoever you're with, and enjoying that time together, and being happy is so important in life. It does cleanse you. It's so good for your soul. And obviously you've chosen that partner to be with for your life, and make the best of it. Spend time together and truly find yourselves in each other's time. And I think that's so important as humanity, to make sure that, I would say love is love, and it's so true. And at Disney, it just makes it so much more magical.
Yeah, I love seeing the couples at Disneyland, they're together.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, I love it. And, they're holding hands, or they're, you can tell that they're enjoying it, being together. I love it. I love seeing that.
I couldn't actually wait to do it, because I would, when I was a bachelor, I would do a lot of solo trips, by myself. And I would see all these couples, whether young, middle-aged, elderly, that they're together. And as you said, holding hands, leaning up against one another, watching the fireworks. It's like, wow, I want to experience that. I want to see that side of Disney, and I couldn't wait. And I told my wife, I said, are you a big Disney fan? She says, yeah, I've seen the movies. And I said, no, are you an actual Disney fan?
I'm like, well, what do you mean?
What are you getting into?
So, Jace, you've kind of been quiet on this. What about, you brought that up, the more quiet, down low key of restaurants. Where do you suggest to go?
That's getting to be a tougher and tougher thing at Disney these days, because it is getting more and more crowded. It's not like the old days where you could kind of walk in a little bit of sense of quiet and serenity.
I love that word, serenity.
I as much as I love being in the parks, I find just resort hopping romantic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes.
Love it.
Definitely our favorite resort is the Grand Floridian. We have stayed there once. It was just a short little 3-night trip. It was amazing. It is so beautiful. We get to see the lake, and you just walk around. The people there are so nice. It doesn't matter where you are in that hotel. It's all romantic. It's very quiet. It's a little bit secluded. And you can just be together.
I'm going to go out on another limb there, Jess, and say go on a date to Trader Sam's. It's a great atmosphere. Just to be able to sit there and you're surrounded by the tiki torches, order yourself an appetizer, just sit and enjoy each other's time and listen to the ukulele players. Oh my gosh, it's such an amazing evening, and to be able to do that with your partner is so much fun. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh yeah.
I've never been to Trader Sam's.
She's never been to Trader Sam's, but it's definitely on the list, whenever we go again.
Well, there's probably a lot of places that are similar to Trader Sam's too.
But try Trader Sam's. It's the best though. Jay, we might not be couple Jay, but we're gonna hit up Trader Sam's, right?
Oh yeah.
E23.
Oh, I know of a birthday party we might have to have.
Yes.
While we're there.
Heck yeah.
That would be me waving at the screen.
Oh, Jessica, I might get your husband. I might get your husband under the table.
Have at it. He's leaving me on his birthday, which has never happened and will never happen again.
Come with us.
I
say we'll have to do another trip.
Ditch your parents. We're more fun.
I would not be caught dead going to a D23 event And
I
so
think we lost about 100 listeners just right now. So
You better go get them. You better go get them back, Jess.
I'm
I'm actually taking our
kidding.
son to my mother's house in Florida. So we will be about 2.5 hours outside of Orlando. Golfing and golf carting, swimming. We'll probably see some alligators and
Fun.
it'll be a lot of fun.
But kind of going off topic, Mindy, I remember another adventure episode we had when you were describing when you were on the Storybook Land canals and the boat stopped and everything dimmed on and you watched the fireworks and everything.
Oh, God.
And it just made me think that I had to come up with something for this adventure because it was a romantic thing, something that the two of you shared together, that I'm thinking, what can I tie that into of having a firework moment on a
Oh,
ride?
dear God.
And she knows already what I'm talking about. And it was the first time we went on
It was
the Seven
shameful.
Dwarfs Mine Train. It
so
was late at
shameful.
night. We were all the way in the back, last seat. And for all you passengers and everyone here knows
I
what
hate
happens.
riding in the back. I hate it.
You know what happens with the last seat
I
of a
freak
roller coaster. And not knowing really how fast this ride would go. I mean, it's a family-friendly ride, but I mean, it moves pretty quick, especially in the back. And she's already one that can't handle a whole lot of thrill rides to begin with, but I got her on anyway. So while we're going through this ride, the grand finale of the fireworks is going off. And we're right at the tippy top of the hill, about to go down, and we're going down, and it's pitch dark, but the fireworks are going off, and I'm screaming, Jess, look, the fireworks is the grand finale. Look, it's beautiful. And her
I'm
head is like
screaming,
barricaded.
"No!"
Her head's barricaded
Barricaded in
down,
his armpit.
saying, no, I
How
don't want
romantic.
Nothing like knowing your partner's BO.
Well, in my defense, he has a really sexy smell. He wears a lot of Tim McGraw type of scents.
Okay, so sexy is a subjective word here.
I'm more of the
Let's just put it this way. I'm a big fan of my husband's funk.
okay.
And on that note, I'm going to take us back to the hotel part of this discussion. Not so George can get a shower.
Or not.
He doesn't stink. He doesn't.
All right, Captain Caveman.
The passengers, if you hear water running, it's not Splash Mountain.
Passengers, if you smell something in the jungle, it's probably George.
Well, let's keep talking. Let's go off that vein then, since you brought it up. What's the most romantic attraction to go on? What would you say? Like, and why? Like, what is an attraction to you that's just kind of the low-key romantic attraction?
So I can't ride the Ferris wheel or merry-go-rounds because I will get sick. I don't like heights. I used to love it. I used to, I could stand at the very edge of a cliff and look down. I can't do it anymore. I don't know when that started. And Ferris wheels, I don't like to spin. And
so those are out for you, but what do you like to go on with
but
George?
probably, oh goodness. I am a very big fan of, goodness.
I mean, I could think of the very first ride I took you on in Disney. I don't know, but I mean, it's not a slow paced ride.
What, Big Thunder?
It was Big Thunder.
That's probably the one that I would think. I know it's a fast coaster.
You're a Tim McGraw fan, so
I am a Tim McGraw fan. He has brilliant music.
So anything in Frontierland can be romantic for you.
That's
Yeah,
right.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, talking about, and I know you guys brought it up as a past show about our experience on and why my favorite attraction is Storybook Land canal boats. And the romantic experience Brandon and I got to have. Long story short, we got on. We didn't know it was timed just perfectly. They stopped the boats and we got to see the fireworks, and the surrealness of that night will never be forgotten. But another time, and going off with what Jess said, this was romantic, as funny as it was, is going on Thunder Mountain. We didn't plan it, and we had gotten on, and when we were going up, all the fireworks just started going off. And it was quiet, it's dark, and the whole sky is lit up with fireworks all around you, right above your head. And talk about a sucker who started crying, because it was so magical. Would you agree? Talk about that
awesome.
night?
Yeah, that was very cool. And I think the thing that made these two experiences, the canal boats and this, so amazing was because it was not expected. We didn't expect it to happen. It just happened. And like it was that surprise kind of feel. And to see that happening and have that add to the, to the feeling you already have, made it that much more special.
Now, I wouldn't suggest to go, quote, quote, make the magic happen. Well, that sounded, well, okay, folks, we're talking about couples. We're not talking about that kind of magic. But
that's a whole different show. We'll put behind a paywall.
If we're going to make the magic happen and ride an attraction while the fireworks are going off, if it's outside, it's a total different experience, folks. You'll love it.
I also think Pirates of the Caribbean can be really nice too.
Yeah,
that was actually my romantic ride, because I like to sit in the back row and hold hands.
Yes. Doesn't it make it so much nicer?
Any ride where we can just sit and hold hands together and maybe put a head on a shoulder, that's romance to me.
Love it. You're right.
The one
if we can get like at night, if we can get a section of the train to ourselves and feel like we're the only two people in the world.
Aw, that's our tradition, folks. Our passengers is every time we leave the park, like when we're getting ready to go home, we go out of our way to wait for the train and take a one full-time trip around from Main Street back to Main Street Station and just say goodbye. And at night, it's usually the most romantic time, like you said, just being able to put your head on the other person's shoulder and just enjoy your time that you had or are having.
The other one that I like to do that, the same actions with is Peter Pan's Flight, because it's very mellow, and just the thought of ascending off, flying through Neverland. It's just like the way the ride moves and everything, and you're just sitting there with your spouse or your partner or what have you, and it's just like the best feeling in the world.
Soarin' is the other one, because it makes you really feel like you're flying, but it makes you feel like you're flying together.
Yeah, we always talk on that. We always sit next to each other and we're like, oh, there's that.
Yeah, on that note, can Flight of Passage be romantic?
I don't know if my screaming is romantic, though.
Jay, I think you described it best. A romantic attraction is when you can just hold hands and put your head on the other person's shoulder. That is romantic attraction. You said it best. Anything in the sorts. And you were saying something about the hotels?
One of the things I always make sure we do is have a date night in the hotel where we don't go to the park. We don't go to downtown Disney. Like, we'll go and we'll have some cocktails at the lounge at Steakhouse 55. And then we'll go indulge in a really nice meal together and just walk across the resort property. You can see Splash Mountain in the background. You can see Big Thunder in the background. They're there, but this night's all about you two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. It's hard to do at Disneyland in the places we stay, but when we're at Disney World, when we stay at Port Orleans, we'll do that. There's been a couple times where we just hang out one of the nights back at the hotel, or we'll come back early from the parks and and just hang out and walk around the property.
But, however, I have to interject and kind of go off that. But because we go with our family a lot, like we're big Disneyland goers, and Grandma and Grandpa come too. They're annual pass holders as well. And we'll send the kids back with Grandma and Grandpa, and they know, and we'll go out and go to Trader Sam's and go get a churro and a Dole Whip and go sit and just enjoy each other's time. Okay, so my favorite place in the entire park for a romantic thing, like you were saying, Jay, is Snow White's grotto. It's my favorite place in the whole park. And you go there at night, you got the sound of the water, the sounds of the parks, and Snow White singing from her wishing well, and the waterfall. Talk about a serene experience. I love it, and I'll just go over there with Brandon, and we will just sit for a good 10-15 minutes and just hold hands, put my head on his shoulder.
My favorite romantic spot at Disneyland, and I wish you could still do this at night, it's the Mark Twain.
Yeah.
I love to be alone on the water.
I've never actually ridden the Mark Twain riverboats.
You've got to come to Disneyland with us.
You need to.
I definitely want to go again, but I want to experience the actual restaurants as opposed to like the quick services in the park.
So for you two, George and Jessica, what is a romantic spot?
The gazebo in the Grand Floridian.
Cool. We'll see.
It oversees the whole lake.
Yeah.
It is so pretty. You can see the fireworks. You can see, the ducks on the water. There's nobody around, and it's just you. And we love it. I think one of the cuter but cornier things that we've actually done is when we go into Tony's restaurant, we always pull a Lady and the Tramp. And at least one of us always gets spaghetti, and then of course we have to each take a piece on both ends of the noodle, and it's cheesy and corny, but we always share a kiss at the end.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
I could never do that. I would forget we're doing it. I just eat the whole pasta. A picture would be me with my mouth stuffed and my husband looking at me angry.
It's like, that's not what we're supposed to do.
Talk about pictures. That's something else, just real quick. I mean, if you're going to take a snapshot of you with spaghetti all over your face, make sure you go and get pictures with each other, because sometimes you forget to do that. And if you're going to be at the parks together, just ask somebody nicely, hey, can you take our pictures? Because how often do we take each other's picture, like us as a couple in a photo? So
we have yet to come across somebody who says no.
Yeah. Cast members are selfie sticks now.
True.
Yeah.
But what a better way to remember your trip of you and your significant other, and just take those photos together.
And if I don't take the standard picture of you two in dead center, I like to take one like we're looking at an angle with something different, like a different view in the background.
Yeah, definitely.
We actually had done a photo like that with the photo pass at Epcot, where the cast member took a picture of us looking beyond World Showcase, but you couldn't see our faces. It was our backs, and we were holding hands.
And we were like, it was like we were walking away from it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Really special.
I'm going to ask everyone, because our cruise is starting to come to an end. I see Trader Sam shaking his things in the background. What is your guys' next romantic spot at Disney? What haven't you done yet as a couple that is going to be your new romantic spot?
Oh, goodness.
That's a good question.
That kind of took me off guard.
Shopping between...
Yeah, probably different.
Like All-Star...
Well, no, I would probably say, like, because she wants to at least see
each resort one time.
Yeah, and actually stay there. So probably, if I had a... Oh, I know. she's been wanting to really stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yes.
To see the savannah with the animals.
I want to wake up and see the animals.
So I think, once she would get the chance to do so, I think that would be probably our new spot.
My ultimate dream that I have had since I was a kid, I want to pet a wild animal. And by a wild animal, I mean like black leopard, a clouded leopard, a cat of some kind.
Something with teeth.
And so, even if I'm not allowed to touch the animals, waking up at Animal Kingdom Lodge would be to die for.
How are you, Brandon?
That is cool. I think that would be awesome. I had a friend that stayed there, and they were able to look out at the savannah in the morning, and he said it was amazing. Amazing.
I would even take one step further and sit outside on the balcony if we get a balcony room and watch the sun come up.
Yeah. That's a hard question because I like spontaneous things a lot of times. Sometimes to me, the spontaneous things that we weren't expecting to do is the most fun and end up being the most memorable. But I am really looking forward to the next trip that we take to Disney World. I mean, because we go to Disneyland quite a bit, and we're able to do a lot of spontaneous stuff there because we were there so much. But because Disney World is a little bit harder to come by, and we only do that every couple of years, I'm just looking forward to just seeing some of the hotels, like you're saying, the hotel hopping. I think it would be really neat to do that, and by that time our kids will be old enough that we can leave them by themselves. I think it would be really neat to do some of the hotel hopping a little bit and just spend a few hours away and just go see some of these places that we've never, like the Boardwalk or the Grand Floridian and some of these other places that we just haven't been.
Yeah, so if we're going to talk a Disney World romantic, just to get, because I know we're wrapping this up, and you're going to have to help me out because I don't know the names of them. I'm like having a brain fart. But go downtown to, it's not downtown Disney anymore, it's Disney Springs, and do one of the cars, the floating, what are they called?
Oh, the car boat.
The aqua.
Amphibian, maybe, I don't know. It's amphicars. Amphicar? Is it the amphicar? So I got so giddy because I'm a big vintage person, and let alone these cars are amazing looking. Just be able to drop the money and not even care and do the hour-long, amphicar around the lake. Oh my gosh, can it get any more romantic than that? So that is on my bucket list to do, Jay. There you go. There's my answer.
I'll wrap it up. I want to rent an RV and go camp at Fort Wilderness.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Okay, you win.
I'm not a big nature person. I don't like sleeping on the ground, but I am definitely all for glamping.
Now they'll bring the RV to you, set it up. All you got to do is show up. They bring you a go-kart. That's there. I mean, can it get any better? Hello. Yeah, I'm with you.
And it doesn't even feel like you're in Disney property when you're at Fort Wilderness. You feel like you are somewhere else entirely.
Okay, so that is what we need to do. Just rent a really big RV and the four of us go glamping at Walt Disney World.
That would be cool to stay there.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing.
And the stores at Fort Wilderness sell everything you need for s'mores.
I know.
I don't like chocolate, but I'll eat the rest of it.
You can have a graham cracker and a marshmallow. That's more chocolate
my mouth
for us.
is watering. Thank you. Oh, how fun.
Dude, between churros, cereal, and s'mores, I'm ready for dinner.
Oh my goodness. I need a sugar rush now. I'm like, my mouth is watering. Well, that was fun. That was a great show.
Thanks, you guys. I had a good time tonight.
Yeah, there's definitely things that we need to try now. We need to do that we haven't thought of before. I like the suggestions and the ideas, and I got some ideas now that I want to do.
Hopefully our passengers take some of these and go have a romantic time making some magic at Disney.
And with that, we are back in the dock. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for having me on as a guest. Thank you.
Brad and Jessica, we're always happy to have you guys with us.
Anytime. I'd love to be here.
Good night, everybody.
And now that we're back at the dock, Ken, take it away.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tour Magical Ticket Holders. While on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tour. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tour Podcast, as well as Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. If you would like to send us a message, you can email us at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule, make it good. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.